It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. Well, I'm really excited today because I'm going to be having a look at two desk mats that have just come in the mail today. But the first thing I want to say is I want to give a huge shout out to the Keyboard Treehouse for actually helping make this video happen. So Keyboard Treehouse was running a buy for some desk mats to support the Australian Mechanical Keyboard Discord, and I had mentioned that I was interested in getting some desk mats made for fundraising purposes to support us here at the Board Podcast, and they said, hey, do you want to hop on this and get some desk mats made? So the same manufacturer was willing to split the actual MOQ across different patterns, which made it a little bit easier because it meant that I didn't have to order as much. But also in discussion with the Keyboard Treehouse, they said that they could do fulfillment for me as well. Sure, I might not necessarily get as much money in terms of the profits from selling these desk mats for the channel, but it does take a lot of load off me and being able to store them, packaging them, send them, and so on and so forth. So I want to just quickly show off the Keyboard Treehouse, which is... I'm clicking all sorts of things at the moment wrong. There we go. So there's the Keyboard Treehouse. It's essentially a collective of Australian mechanical keyboard makers who are putting up stuff into one easy location to find and purchase. So you'll see under the makers at the moment there's AE Boards, Idyllic, Ivory, and Laser Ninja. Now the desk mats we're going to have a quick look at today aren't yet listed, but they will be there very shortly. So do check out Keyboard Treehouse if you're interested in stuff from the Australian makers community. Okay, let's go back to what we've got going. So here we go. Here are the two desk mats. So the Snag mat is the one that was done for the Australian Keyboard Discord, and I find it really funny that they actually called this one Fire Podcast. I don't quite know exactly what that might have been, but maybe it was their way of describing it because of the pattern. But let's just quickly crack open the Snag mat here. They look pretty good. The packaging, you know, we tried to make it affordable, so there's no fancy bag like, for example, when you get a desk mat from, say, Novel Keys. But if the desk mat is out and it's meant to be on your desk anyway, well, it's not really that big a deal, is it? But if you want to get yourself a nice nylon carry bag or something like that, I'm sure you could probably find it on, say, you know, AliExpress or Taobao or things like that, or get some custom made. So these are 900 by 400s, and we actually ran a competition on the Australian Keyboard Discord for a new logo, and the one that won, that's being used for the banner, is the one that's actually on this desk mat. And look at that. How cool is that? So we've actually got a SA row 3 with Australia and New Zealand on that, on some kind of greeny goldy switch. There's a sort of the watermark of the switch, and then there's the snag with the NZ in there as well. Keys, the Australian and New Zealand mechanical keyboards. So that's actually really cool. I don't have the calipers on me, but that's actually quite a good thickness to it. And it's got that classic fresh factory neoprene smell going with that as well. In terms of the stitching width on the edges, we're talking about a 4mm stitch width. It looks well done. Let's see if that'll focus for me. Maybe. It's struggling to focus, but it looks pretty clean. It's pretty even. In regards to the neoprene thickness, it looks to be probably a 3mm because it's 4mm with the stitching. The stitching is a little bit thicker, but that's okay. It's the typical desk mat with that ripple pattern on the back. There we go. You can see the stitching much cleaner there, much better. Feels really great. It's super smooth across my hand. Actually, I don't know if this will come up with a bit of ASMR, but let's try that with the microphone a bit closer. I don't know if that actually did anything, but if it did and it gave you some tingles, fantastic. If not, I apologize. Very cool. So you can get this mat at Keyboard Treehouse very shortly, and all the proceeds from that will actually go to help fund boosts for that actual Discord, so we can keep having, you know, great quality audio, as well as having more emojis, larger file sizes and stuff like that. And of course it helps fund things that we do on there, like giveaways and whatnot. So I'll wrap that one up properly. And of course, piece de la resistance. Okay, so this one was actually done for me here at the board, but the art was done by Outrage Pudding. Thank you very much, Outrage Pudding, for continuing to support the channel. So it's a continuation of the YouTube banner. We kind of wanted to keep it nice and simple, but have a great striking effect. Plus, you know, it to be quite not invasive. The YouTube banner has like the microphone, keyboard, and YouTube logo on it, but we didn't want that to be front and center. So Outrage Pudding came up with a really great design that sort of kept it really simple, which is just that in the corner. So it's a keyboard, and there's the microphone from our logo, our podcast logo, and it's just there. It's just, that's it. That's the only branding for us in the board podcast, but with this really lovely sort of, you know, fractal pattern. The camera doesn't probably show it very well, and it's struggling to focus a bit there, and the green clip from the microphone is in the corner there, but it goes from a dark corner and it sort of fades out into a bit brighter there, and then dark again, and then it goes upwards towards this orangey reddy color up towards the top. It's really hard to see on the camera, but you know, these lines here, it's quite a lovely sort of gradient and blend. Maybe that's a little bit easier to see. Hopefully the pictures that they'll take for the actual listing on Keyboard Treehouse is going to show that off a lot better. And we decided to go with the black edging because, you know, black is classic, makes it really easy to work with, and it blends well. And once again, same quite reasonable quality, even stitching around, same backing, same neoprene smell. So there you have it. There is the Board Podcast Deskmat. It's a 900 by 400, and of course all proceeds from this Deskmat, when it becomes available, is going to support us here on this channel, either to pay for things like giveaways, pay hosting fees for the podcast, allows me to purchase more stuff and play around with stuff to do reviews and builds and customs and so on and so forth. Okay, that's it. It's a wrap. Oh my god, this video is under 10 minutes? Under 10 minutes. Inconceivable for a person like me to do a video under 10 minutes. Yeah, 2 mats, Keyboard Treehouse. Thank you everybody for supporting us here so far. And yeah, hopefully if you're interested in getting one, grab one before they all sell out. And if there is such a high demand for them, we'll get some more made. Or if you want to see a different pattern, or if you've got something in mind that you think is going to represent us here at the Board Podcast a bit better, we can go for a different design, a second series, and so on and so forth. So please leave your comments below on what you think of the Deskmats, and if you got anything else that you want to share for maybe the next round. That's it. Still under 10 minutes, so as usual, until next time, happy clacking.